This is the story of a 17-year-old high school student who once stole Snickers from 7-Eleven every day. Arrested multiple times for fighting, theft, and check fraud, and suspended for 2 weeks for fighting, he was labeled by a local newspaper as a troubled teenager with a history of run-ins with police. Despite his uncertain, untroubled path, he became one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, one of the world's highest-grossing actors, with movies earning over $10.5 billion worldwide, and the founder of several multi-billion-dollar businesses. This is a story of pain and gain, adversity and opportunity, a journey from rock bottom to the pinnacle of success. This is the story of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born in 1972 in California. He's the son of professional wrestler Rocky Johnson and Ada Johnson, and his grandfather, Peter Maivia, was also a professional wrestler. Due to his father's wrestling career, young Dwayne moved frequently, attending several schools in Auckland, New Zealand, North Carolina, Connecticut, Hawaii, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania. Struggling with the instability and poor finances of his family, Dwayne was drawn into a culture of conflict and petty crime. By age 17, he had been arrested multiple times for fighting, theft, and check fraud, and suspended 2 weeks for fighting. Witnessing the hardships of his father's wrestling career, young Dwayne had no interest in becoming a professional wrestler. He felt lost and directionless, leading a life marked by trouble and arrests. His future seemed bleak, and his life was at an all-time low. That's until one man changed Dwayne's life forever. One day in high school, Johnson had to use the restroom. As a punk kid, he decided to use the teacher's bathroom, which was off-limits to students. The school's head football coach, Jody Swick, came in. He said, "Hey, you can't be in here." Dwayne looked over his shoulder and said, "Okay, I'll leave when I'm done," and continued to wash his hands. Dwayne got home that evening and started to really think about his actions. He felt bad, so the next day he went back to Jody and apologized for how he acted. Jody shook Dwayne's hand, wouldn't let go, and said, "I want you to do something for me. I want you to come out and play football for me." Jody saw potential in Dwayne and became a father figure to him. As Dwayne channeled his energy into football, many other areas of his life began to improve. His grades got better, and he started getting recruited by colleges across the country. His thought process started to change. He started thinking about goals and what he wanted to accomplish. By his senior year of high school, after playing only 2 years of football, Dwayne received a full athletic scholarship to the University of Miami. At the University of Miami, he was part of the 1991 National Championship team and became a prolific student speaker, encouraging students to stay in school and avoid drugs. Upon graduating, Dwayne joined the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League. His life appeared to be on the upswing, and the future looked hopeful. However, just as his years of hard work began to show results, his world came crashing down once more. Dwayne was released 2 months into the Calgary's 1995 season, abruptly ending his brief football career. Dwayne posted about this period on his Instagram. "I knew in my heart I was going to make it in the CFL and parlay that into a very successful career in the NFL, maybe even win a Super Bowl, but neither of those dreams came close to coming true. Truth is, I just wasn't good enough, and it wasn't my time. The CFL sent me home. I was still grateful to a man who would eventually become a mentor and a friend, Wally Buono, for even giving me the opportunity. I had $7. With his football dream behind him, Dwayne faced one of his biggest failures. He was left with only $7 in his pocket. He had to turn to the one thing that ruined his early years in school and troubled his family's life: wrestling. Veteran wrestler Pat Patterson secured several tryout matches for Dwayne with the World Wrestling Federation, WWF. Dwayne took the ring name Rocky Maivia, a combination of his father's and grandfather's ring names. He was hyped as the WWF's first third-generation wrestler. He was pushed heavily from the start based on his celebrated lineage. Despite his wrestling inexperience, the fans did not take kindly to it. Audiences became increasingly hostile towards Rocky Maivia and frequently chanted, "Die Rocky, die," and "Rocky sucks" during his matches. Rocky Maivia started lashing out at fans who had been booing him.
"I got 3 words. Die, Rocky, die. That's the gratitude I get from you pieces of crap for all my blood, my sweat, and my tears?
He then refused to acknowledge the Rocky Maivia name, instead referring to himself as The Rock. The Rock would then regularly insult the audience, WWF performers, and interviewers in his promos. The Rock was angry and hated, and people didn't like the goofy Nepo kid who was being pushed on them because of his family connections.
I want to make one point to all you jackass fans out there.
After being paired with Ron Simmons in the Nation of Domination stable, Simmons became his mentor and helped him cultivate good in-ring charisma and mic skills. The Rock's willingness to learn from Simmons and improve his charisma and behavior paid off. By the end of 1998, The Rock saw a big uptick in fan support and claimed his first WWF championship. Over the next 4 years, his charisma and speaking abilities fueled his rise into an uncontested superstar with many catchphrases and merchandising opportunities. Fans were happy to smell what The Rock was cooking.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
In 2001, Dwayne began his film career with a role in The Mummy Returns. It took a decade to land his first major box office success in Fast 5. By 2013, he was the top-grossing actor of the year. Today, Dwayne Johnson is one of Hollywood's highest-grossing actors and one of the most influential people in the world. He launched several business ventures, including Seven Bucks Productions, a name inspired by his early struggles, which produces many of his films. Teremana Tequila, which sold 600,000 cases in its first year, Project Rock fitness apparel with Under Armour, and his own energy drink. He purchased the Professional American Football League XFL, and he gained full ownership of his trademarked name, The Rock, which was owned by the WWE. His net worth exceeds $800 million. He has amassed 397 million Instagram followers. He became at the top of the world. Despite his overwhelming success story, The Rock is becoming a victim of his own success. His secret formula that fueled his rise may plant the seeds of his fall. Dwayne has built his success around the persona of the alpha male who has an insane focus on becoming the best. He outworks, outtrains, and outlearns his rivals. He's incredibly competitive. While his rivals may wake up at 6 and practice their lines, he wakes up at 4 and exercises. Rivals may feel working a 12-hour day is more than enough. Dwayne does 17 hours and still feels there's more to be done. His physique in his 50s outcompetes his physique in his 20s and 30s at the height of his wrestling career. But what used to work in the early 2000s doesn't work in today's social media world and easy cancel culture. One move can get you cancelled. Dwayne faced criticism over his physique, with several claims that he's not natural. He was criticized for his response after he had an armored tank named after him. In his post, he wrote, "I'm sending a salute of respect and gratitude to the Black Hawk Squadron, 1st Armored Division, for the honor of naming their tank the most advanced in the world, Dwayne The Rock Johnson." But critics were quick to write, "How are you okay with people getting killed with your name?" And "Not sure having a destructive weapon named after you is such a great honor." His endorsement of President Joe Biden in the 2020 US presidential election was not received well. He had to back down in the face of criticism, saying, "There's gonna be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize that with this level of influence, I'm gonna keep my politics to myself, and I think that's between me and the ballot box." The scrutiny of cancel culture bugs him. Dwayne told Fox News, "Today's easy cancel culture really bugs me. You either succumb to it or be yourself and be real. If you ask me something, a truthful answer is important. That may get people upset. Staying on top for a while is extremely hard, especially in today's world. It's yet to be seen if Dwayne The Rock Johnson will continue to thrive in the new era, or if one wrong move will take his entire history down. In all cases, his story is truly inspirational. His determination and resilience are traits to be admired and looked up to.